Hey guys, it's Christy here, and welcome back to another episode of Detective Grimoire. I just want to say real quick, I'm sorry it's been so long since I've done a video again. I'm not even gonna try to, promise that I'm gonna be more consistent after this video, because this year has just not gone how I thought it would at all. So, hopefully, I can get back in the rhythm of things, but for now we're just gonna play the game. So, if you don't remember, last time we obviously got into Mr. Remington's office, the guy who was murdered. This guy. And we learned that he apparently is not a simple tourist attraction owner. He actually was hunting Boggy. As you can see, he's a collector of fantastical animals. And we also met this guy, who seems to be incredibly sus. Way more than every other person. And he's so sus that you would think that he might be a red herring. He also has red hair, so, you know. But, you know, I've had time to think about this. And since I haven't played this game before, unlike Tangle Tower, I'm allowed to tell you my theories, which is kind of fun. So, personally, while I agree that he's a little too sus, I actually think he's so suspicious that the game wants you to think he's a red herring. And I think he actually did it. But I think the twist is going to be something else, because obviously that would be too straightforward. So here's my theory at the moment. Because we know this guy was hunting Boggy, and we know this guy is an activist trying to say that, like, hey, this is Boggy's territory, we shouldn't be here, we shouldn't have this tourist attraction here. And we know we know someone dressed up like Boggy. What if they didn't dress up like Boggy in order to try and frame Boggy, but rather they were dressing up like Boggy to try to scare people away from the tourist attraction? We don't know that this guy knew that Mr. Remington was trying to hunt Boggy, so it's possible he broke into his office to try and scare Mr. Remington into leaving, and Mr. Remington pulled a gun on him because he was trying to hunt Boggy, and so maybe he killed Mr. Remington in self-defense. That's my prediction. It might be a wild, crazy theory, but it would be interesting. I will say who I don't think did it. We know Sally didn't do it for meta reasons. I don't think Lady Weybridge did it because she would have made the Handsome Pete correct. Similar with Agent Folder. Agent Folder complained that the costume was unrealistic and was like a weird mesh between the actual Boggy and the Boggy character. So I don't think either of these two did it because they would have done it more accurately. Bobby Burl would be a weird one to do it. This guy is probably the second most sus, just because he's the only other one that I have seen so far that seems to have a motive of some sort. But I still think it's Echo. So now I have to figure out where we go from here. I think we probably got new clues, right? When we entered this room. We have the fireplace poker and the hunting photo. Yeah, I think we have some new stuff to ask people about, so maybe we should go around and talk to people.
I probably shouldn't leave until I've searched a bit more thoroughly.
Okay, apparently I missed something here. I thought I had, searched this whole room, but...
The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off.
Did I click on the gun?
An old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly near the window. This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore.
How did I not click on that? It's so obvious! Okay. Okay.
Have I uncovered a secret in here?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, well, it's gonna have to have something to do with the hunting rifle, right? Because it popped up after I found that. Is it just this?
The hunting photo explains why the hunting rifle was found at the crime scene. No.
Okay. I just say, I was like, this seems like a very no duh, but...
Remington's desk is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. Ooh, that's nearly right.
Okay, so it's a hunting photo. I was thinking it's one of these two.
The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I'm getting a strong feeling that Remington might be the bad guy in this story. If he wasn't already dead, I would have loved to ask him a couple of questions. I should ask around, see if I can gather any information about his motives for being here.
Richard Remington's real reasons. Yeah. Because obviously he's very suspicious. Okay, so now I should be able to leave. I mean, I guess I'll ask these two first. I don't know what this guy's gonna know. I feel like he's not gonna know anything.
What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder? Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, I think that's what I would also say if someone just was like, "Hey, what do you think about this fire poker?" I do see we have a new thing here, so.
You saw Remington last night, but had you met him before? Did you know him?
I've never really spoken with him, but we've come into contact a few times. Vincent likes to handle that kind of work, and I like to let him.
What do you think of this place? The tourist attraction, I mean.
I can't say I like the idea of a natural area like this becoming commercialized.
I know. I just can't understand why anyone would even try.
I think Mr. Remington had his reasons. He looked like a man with a couple of secrets.
Like what?
I have no idea. If I knew, they wouldn't be secrets.
I do think, like, this guy is also up there on least likely to have committed the murder, because he feels like he has nothing to do with this situation. He's just here because this guy is here. I think if he committed the murder, it was as, like, the brawn for this guy, you know? Like, he was only doing it because he was told to do it. But I don't even know that they necessarily have that kind of relationship.
I suppose you've met with our murder victim, Richard Remington.
Yes, I've been in and out of this place for a while now. Naturally, I've crossed paths with Remington a number of times. Good value, that one. A real raconteur, you know.
You liked him? So far, I'm getting the impression he wasn't the most popular guy around here.
Well, that much is clear, isn't it? The man obviously slipped up somewhere, made an enemy or two, and bam, that's that. You just can't be too careful, can you?
Yeah, I think he did have an enemy or two. Or three. But you liked him.
I respected him. Good head on his shoulders. Good business sense, that man. He understood how to make things work for him.
Respected him, huh? Can't really decide if that... I mean, I don't think that's suspicious.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
We didn't really have one, and now we definitely don't have one. But look, all I can say is that he was a coward who enjoyed watering down history for his own benefit.
What does that mean?
It means there are some chapters of this swamp's history that he never wanted anyone to know about.
Did he like you sniffing around this museum all the time?
I don't think he knew, to be honest. And even if he did, there's nothing he could have done about it. He has no right to this building. He knows that. We both know that.
Why not? It was part of his tourist attraction, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
Ooh. That's it? We're not gonna get more about that? I guess it explains why it looks like it's been falling apart for ages.
So, you found it. I wonder who else knows about it.
So he knows about the fact that Richard was a hunter. Interesting. It's interesting that that's all he gave us as well. Like, I don't know what to do with that. Oh, hello.
Aha! The great detective returns. Did you run out of ideas? Need a little push in the right direction?
I don't want help.
I'm getting a new idea. It involves ignoring you.
Like it or not, I'm here to help you.
I get it. You give me a map, then you magically disappear and hide behind a tree for an hour. You want me to be impressed?
Did you talk to all the suspects yet?
No, I'm trying to.
Working on it. You can't rush these things, you know?
Have you noticed anything unusual?
I notice that this is going to take longer than I originally planned, and I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't wrong about this tourist attraction.
What do you mean?
I had a hard time believing there could be a place like this here in a dark corner of a swamp. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't.
Some things don't make sense straight away. You need to look a little closer.
At what? The mud? The water? The trees?
Nope. They've been here for years, and they're not to blame. They belong here.
She's gone again. Hiding in a bush, no doubt. I wonder if she'll ever tell me something I can actually understand.
I'm glad that she didn't. I don't want hints. I want to solve this on my own. I don't want some little girl to be like, hey, what do you think about this? This should be interesting.
You've been here so long, you must have crossed paths with Remington a few times. What did you think of him?
That man was a threat to the swamp. We'll be better off without him. Hopefully the curtain will fall on his little tourist attraction as well.
Better off? With a killer on the loose now?
There have been murderers loose in the swamp before.
What are you talking about?
In my time here, I've seen the swamp invaded by men. By hunters. Several times. They're relentless.
What were they hunting? Wait, what about Boggy? Is that why no one has seen him in 60 years?
They always fell short of their ultimate goal. That just meant they came back again and again, doing more harm each time.
But this area is protected by law, right?
It is now, but some men have no respect for laws, of any kind. They tried to get me to leave my home here. I stood my ground.
Obviously. But this whole area is a tourist attraction now. I doubt Remington would have allowed anyone to march into Boggy's bog with a gun and start hunting down its main attraction.
I don't really understand why Grimoire's saying that when we already know that Remington was a hunter. I will say, I kind of forgot that this lady does have a motive. I don't really think it's her, though, because she seems like the kind of lady who's like... Well, I mean, she's old. I just feel like she knew he was up to go good. She didn't like him for, like, years before this. Like, surely, if she was gonna kill him, she would have done it by now. You know what I mean? I forgot she didn't care about anything but liquid. Why? What was the point of the liquid thing when the liquid is all the same? I've yet to find a liquid that's different.
Now I know what that liquid... I'll write it down in my notes. What's going on here? That was definitely the same as the other tests.
You don't say!
I recognize some of those men, unfortunately. They've hunted in the swamp before.
Before it became a protected area?
Before that, yes. And one of them after that.
I don't mind the clue thing being like, you know, obviously I can tell that they're all green. I just wish at least one of them was different, so it felt like there was any point in doing that. But maybe we'll encounter something later, I don't know.
You said you knew Remington?
He and I knew each other for a long time. I came to work at his tourist attraction in the early days, when he needed help.
Well, what kept you here?
I know most people wouldn't want to work in a place like this. I actually like it here, so I was happy to oblige.
You might like it, but I still don't see why anyone would build a tourist attraction here.
Mr. Remington has his reasons. He probably had several. I don't presume to know what they all were. Even though we were friends, he had some secrets, some hobbies, that I was happy to let him keep secret.
Secrets? Hobbies? A secret hobby?
He was a man with a dream. I can tell you that much.
So he's claiming not to know what Remington was up to, just knowing that he was up to something.
That's Mr. Remington's old hunting rifle. He usually keeps it around. For whatever reason, he was very fond of that thing. Looks like it was fired recently.
Ooh. How do you know that? You're a cook!
One of Mr. Remington's secrets. I never wanted to know the details, but these men travel the world, seeking mysterious animals to hunt. They consider myths and legends to be the ultimate prey.
So you do know all of his secrets. Or are there other secrets we haven't learned yet?
It's Mr. Remington's fireplace poker. This slime on the handle. It's familiar for some reason.
Maybe because it's your juice stuff.
It's a humble gift shop wagon.
Whoops.
Let's take a look.
Did I never click on that before? Apparently not.
What on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all.
Whoa!
It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
And all that because I misclicked on, I was trying to click on Sally and I apparently never clicked on her cart. I like how all of them are in pots, even the plushie.
It's a photo of the swamp entrance. Or it could be a painting. There's really no way to tell, you know?
I guess in a universe where everything is painted, I don't know how you would tell either.
Brightly colored boggy baseball caps. Is there something behind them?
Yeah, I already clicked on that.
Well, I wouldn't wear it. Maybe to sleep in, you know, not outside.
Oh! The cap was also a clue? So we got like 3 clues there? So we've actually, okay, so this whole thing is everything to do with the costume. So there's one piece of the costume we haven't found yet. I guess the body part is the part we haven't found yet. Alright, talk to her.
So what can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
I didn't have one. I think I spoke to him twice, ever. He usually seemed really busy, but more like preoccupied.
Preoccupied? Like he was thinking about something else? Something that wasn't this tourist attraction?
Who can say? What do old men think about?
What? Are you implying that I know the answer to that?
These hats look pretty stupid. Luckily, kids seem to like stupid stuff.
You sell a lot of them?
Yeah, they're pretty popular.
Oh, that was a... Oh! I didn't realize the red cloth was a curtain piece. So there was a part of the curtain piece stuck in the head.
Where are you keeping all this stuff? In your pockets?
That's a good question.
That is not something from my gift shop. I've never seen it before.
Well, we're gonna have to go back and talk to everyone later, but... You again!
You again. Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
Don't let them take him.
Who? The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that they...
No, the creature. Don't take him away. This place is his home.
Oh, Boggy. Hey, don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be, responsible for this mess.
You didn't?
Well, no. Mainly because I didn't believe he existed at all.
So, he won't get in trouble? You won't have to leave?
Why is she,
Well,
like,
he's been out here for what,
talking
60 years, hasn't
so
he?
different?
And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well, in that case, he says... Thank you.
Okay, I just got an achievement for finishing speaking to the little girl, so apparently that was the rest of her dialogue. I will say, her outfit looks the most like Baki, but I don't know if that's on purpose or not, because I don't think she's from this game originally. You.
So what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me, ignoring anything he didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes. Why are you carrying that around with you?
I have a suspicion it may have been the murder weapon.
Really? I thought Remington was attacked by something with claws, wasn't he?
Suspicious thing to say. Also, I realized the fact that the gun was fired kinda leans into my theory that... Well, at least that Remington tried to defend himself, I guess. Because... presumably he was killed by the fire poker, not the gun. And the gun was facing the opposite way from the window. So he fired at somebody. Editor Christy here. I would like to point out something I realized in hindsight, which is that if we're correct about the fire poker being the murder weapon, then that also supports my theory that it was, at the very least, not a premeditated murder, since we know that the fire poker belonged to Mr. Remington.
What?
You're not a bad detective.
Well, I found the photo in Remington's office. It was ripped up, though. I think he was some kind
He
of...
was a lot of things. Don't lose that picture. And show it to Mr. Harper before you leave.
We already did, and Mr. Harper was like, he knew what it meant, but... Okay. So, well, I guess now we go back in circles and we talk to everyone else about the other stuff that we found. Okay, neither of these people had anything to say about that stuff, which I kind of figured. You'll probably have something to say about this. At least this one.
This is just a piece of junk they sell to tourists. It has no resemblance to the real creature. You're wasting your precious time, detective.
Oh, really? I thought he would have something to say about that. So the only thing he had something to say was a hat, which doesn't really seem that helpful. Grimoire's getting his workout on this mission. She didn't have anything to say. Well, yeah, you'll surely have something to say, right?
That's the same fabric from Mr. Remington's curtains.
Okay. We knew that, I guess. Notes. That's what I want to look at. Wait, what? Why is the notes... Okay, so we have notes about places. Okay, so there's... Oh yeah, we still haven't gotten into his tent. Okay, there's more stuff in the museum. This is helpful. Then you can find out where you missed things. I didn't even know this was a thing. Looks like the only two places where there's stuff we haven't found is in the tent, which we knew that. And then the museum has a ton of stuff we haven't found, which is interesting, because I really thought I'd clicked on everything. This is where I was trying to go. I want to see what does he know about the... Oh, okay, we know everything about the curtain fabric. Fabric found stuffed inside Boggy's head costume piece. Ripped from the curtain in Remington's office, distinctly red swirly pattern. Waybird says that this handmade fabric gave Remington as a peace offering when he arrived. It's thin and rips easily. So, does the fact that it was in the head costume imply that whoever was in the Boggy costume also fell out the window? Because that's the implication I'm getting from this. Old-fashioned hunting rifle found discarded on the floor of Remington's office has been fired at least once in the last 24 hours. Harper says that this is Remington's rifle. He keeps it nearby him at all times. Prime mixture, sugar, green food color, and carbonated water. Okay, so it's the same stuff. Can I just teleport? Okay, I can. Maybe that other piece of the costume is in here?
Some educational facts about swamp. Did you know swamps are...
I feel like this is like, it feels like it's blocking part of the exhibit, but apparently not.
There's a little door in the wall here. I think it leads outside. It's locked, though.
Did I never click on that?
Let's see here. This journal belonged to the explorer, who first discovered Boggy in this swamp 60 years ago.
Okay. So I guess it didn't necessarily mean that I'm missing important things. I'm just missing some things that I didn't click on. There's one more detail about this that I'm missing, but maybe it's past the door. Well, let's see if we can figure out what we're missing from the... I think the only thing we're missing for the protest is...
I'm impressed someone managed to pitch a tent here, and I'm impressed someone would want to. It's a colorful, Boggy-themed padlock. He's staring into my soul. It should open if I set the right number.
Wait. I have a theory. Hold on. 1936. Let's try that number. Did I say 36? Wasn't it 63? Okay, it was 63. I don't know why I said 36. Okay, so apparently it's not that.
These flower petals seem a little out of place, lying on the ground over there.
Okay, now I swear that I clicked on those before and nothing came up, so maybe there's stuff that just, like, comes... Like, you can later click on it? I don't know what these are of importance. So we're still missing something here, but it might be inside the tent. I almost feel like we might find the other piece of the costume in his tent, although that would be, like, a suspicious place to keep it, but it's one of the few places we haven't been. I feel like we've got to be pretty close to done. We're only missing 2 clues, and I guess I know potentially know where to find them, but I don't know how to get to them. So they're both behind locked things. At least, that's my assumption. So maybe in the next episode. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!